Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Scare here back. Bring you a video. I'm here today discussing what fasting is and how it can benefit you, because I don't see a lot of videos on YouTube or the internet in general discussing what fasting is. Fasting is a form of a diet, basically. There's multiple forms of fasting. There's apple fasting, there's water fasting. The type of fasting I do is I discussed it a little in my mukbang video I recorded yesterday. What fasting is basically, it's, how do I put it in words? So I fast for at least 17 hours, sometimes 16 to 17 hours I fast. What fasting is, the type of fasting I do is, you don't consume any form of calories whatsoever. None at all. Which means the only thing you can consume is 0 calorie beverages. You can't eat anything. You can't eat anything or like drink anything with calories for a certain amount of time. Say you fast for 10 hours, you can only drink water or 0 calorie beverages for 10 hours. But I fast for 17, so I can only drink water for 17 hours. And the way that benefits me is fewer. I don't consume as much calories, and I lose a lot of weight because of it. I used to do the low carb diet, but that didn't really work out for me, so I kind of like stopped doing that because it was kind of like out of my element. But I may go back to it. But I also want to say I learned everything I know about fasting and the low carb diet from my friend Iteo on Twitch. I'll leave his Twitch link in the description. He basically taught me everything I know about dieting and fasting and etc. etc. But I also used to combine the low carb diet and the fasting, which worked out really well. But like I said, the low carb diet. I also explained what the low carb diet is. What low carb diet is. The average human consumes about. I'm just taking a wild guess here. Average human consumes about like about 500 carbs a day, probably more. Like I said, I'm taking a wild guess. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. But low carb diet is basically set a carb limit for yourself for every day. Say you set a limit of 100 carbs per day. You cannot go over 100 carbs per day. You can't. And the type of feeling you get is you may feel weird starting off, but then you get used to the feeling. You kind of feel like hungry. You feel like you may get a slight headache, but it's nothing major. It's really beneficial and it really helps you. But I choose to do the fasting technique diet. So, like I said, 17 hours only drinking water, and then I have an 8-hour period where I'm able to eat and consume calories. So I fast 17 hours every day. So on like basically at the end of the month, I give myself a cheat day, basically for doing it, for completing the fasting at 17 hours daily. So, like I said, at the end of the month, me personally, I give myself one big cheat meal a month, which is at the end of every month. Because it's like a reward, basically. It's to reward myself for doing it and completing it. And my thoughts of a fasting is a lot of people. My thoughts on water fasting is it's not, if you're not a bodybuilder, if you're not an athlete, mainly a bodybuilder that does like like a, I don't know I can't remember what they're called, but it's like, it's basically the where bodybuilders go up on the stage and flex and stuff. I can't remember the actual name, but if you're not an athlete of some sort or a bodybuilder, water fasting can really damage your system. I looked it up. I've learned a lot about it. It's not good for you. It can extremely damage your system, and just it's not healthy for you if you're not a bodybuilder, some sort of athlete. My thoughts on apple fasting is it's honestly one of the better fasting techniques I've seen and heard of. Well, apple fasting is you eat one apple a day for a week. That's the only type of apple fasting I've heard of. There might be other types of apple fastings. Well, apple fasting, I should say. But the only type I heard of is eating one apple a day for a week. And like, that's honestly a really good type of fasting because you get to eat, and of course you still need to drink water only, or some sort of 0-calorie beverage, not soda, not Pepsi Zero, not Coke Zero, because it may say zero on everything, but it's just zero added calories, zero added sugar, zero added carbs, etc., etc., etc. There's still carbs, there's still calories, there's natural carbs and calories and sugar. And the diet sodas, like Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero, Pepsi Max, it's Pepsi Max basically, etc., etc. There's just no added, like I said, beverage, calories, sugar, carbs. So, and my thoughts on fasting, the type I do, where you set it like at 16 hours for yourself, water only. I like that type of fasting because I get an 8-hour period where I can just not really go wild, but eat what I want because I earned it. And like not right after this video, but later today when I'm able to eat. Here's another thing. When I do those type of mukbangs and big cheat meals, the day after, a few days, like 2 or 3 days after it, I don't take a lot of calories, and I eat only a little. I drink a lot of water. Excuse me. And that's the thing you gotta, make sure of, is not to take in a lot of calories or eat a lot. You have to limit yourself to what you eat, and then 2 or 3 days after you can just go back to a regular routine. So that's why I choose the 23rd to do it. So before the new month begins, I'm able to go back to my normal routine for the beginning of that month until the 23rd, but it's different in February, because February, a lot of you don't know, my birthday's in February, the day before the end of the month, February, when he has 21 days. So in February, my cheat meal is going to be on the 13th instead of the 24th, because there's no 23 days, there's only 21 Feb. So it's like you can't, you have to like really limit yourself and what you eat after those big cheat meal type meals. I don't I rather do a cheat meal than a cheat day, because if I do a cheat day, I ruin everything. I ruin my diet. I ruin the fasting, because I'd be eating all day. I'd rather have one big cheat meal than one big cheat day. And my cheat meal is 97 the same most of the time. Pizza, wings, and some sort of dessert. I won't get brownies from pizzerias or any type of restaurant, because I can make those at home. But cinnamon polar parts or the cookie pie pizza I'll get. But brownies, those, no. So my cheat meal is in 97% of the time the same. Pizza, wings, some sort of dessert. And next time I do a cheat meal, I learned this the hard way today. Don't drink soda, because soda it's a lot of you don't know this, but some of you might. It fills you up a lot faster than water would. So next time I do a cheat meal mukbang type of video, well, all my mukbang videos are going to be my cheat meals. So I'm gonna drink water next time, so my stomach doesn't get full faster. And like Baron Meats Food said it best: you don't truly appreciate water until you do this type of thing. You truly don't. I didn't appreciate water before this. Now I really appreciate it. It may taste like nothing, but it's honestly the best thing for you to drink when you're doing these type of meals. Some people might disagree, but in my personal opinion, that's how I feel. But I just wanted to make this video today to just discuss what fasting is and how it benefits me, and how it can benefit you. And I also discussed about the different types of fastings and how it can hurt you, and how one can hurt you if you're not a bodybuilder or athlete of some sort, and how another can benefit you. I just want to say this: I'm not sure about like the whole apple fasting concept. I don't know if at the end of the week you get to eat like whatever you want. I'm not really 100% sure on that. You might, but it's, like I said, it's one of the best fasting techniques I've seen and heard of. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna keep you here any longer. I discussed what I wanted. I said what I wanted to say. I discussed what I wanted to discuss, because it's like a lot of fitness programs, fitness channels, dieting channels, dieting programs don't really explain the concept of what fasting is. And yeah, I may be enrolled in the iTrackBites app program, where I track my calories and what I eat. I can consume 3,000 under 4,000 calories a day. I can't really remember the exact number, but like they really don't go into the concept of fasting and how it can benefit you and how it works. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I think it's a damn shame that not a lot of people explain what it is, and explain how it can benefit you, and explain different types of fastings. I've read some like articles, but they're not made by they're not like under actual fitness or diet websites. They're just made by random people on the internet. So, hope you were able to learn something about fasting and learn something about how I fast and why I do the cheat meal and stuff. And like I said in the other video, if you want me to make a video about some of the excess workouts I do and my workout routine I do from home, let me know down in the comment section. If you did enjoy this video, smash that like button. And if you're new, hit that subscription and also the notification bell to know whenever I upload a new video. And yeah, stay positive.